What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narcocop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays Podcast, episode 125, UFC 313. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. Timothy, UFC 313, Ferrera, Ankalaev. Incredible main event. This is the one that everybody's been requesting, right? Everybody's been wanting this Ankalaev. Here it is. They get their Ankalaev. How do you feel about this card in general?
Good card. Got some really good fights. Yeah, obviously, I think everybody's been requesting this fight and wanting to give Ankalaev the shot. But yeah, I got my T-shirt for my guy here, Alex Pereira. I'm not like a fanboy, but I definitely have to celebrate him on his fight card. So. Yeah, I think the card's good. I'm definitely interested to chop it up with you to see if there's some spots. I was writing down the props I think could happen. There's only a few where I was like, I really like only a few of them, but I like the few that I like. So,
yeah, it's going to be an interesting card because I do think there might be some good profitable spots here. I have 3 money line bets so far on this card. Last week, great week, actually. Manel Cape, the man, came through with my big bet. He came through with that late round KO. He came through with the eye poke. He did everything I wanted him to do. And yeah, it was a good week. I think you hit a couple of Lambos as well.
Yeah, we missed yours, guy. We missed your 180 to 1.
I forgot. I don't remember. I missed, guys. We missed the Lambo parlay last week by 1 leg. It was 4 legs. 182 to 1, and Johnson sold on us. I had Johnson 3 decision, and it wasn't even a big price. It was plus 150. My God, that one sold on us. All the other ones hit. It would have paid. There's a lot of people that redid it after Johnson did it, and they hit I think it was like 75 to 1 they hit. So yeah, I'm happy that some people at least did that. I didn't do that, but yeah, it was a good week overall. With that being said, let me go over and shout out the best chat on YouTube. Buster, let's go. Ankalaev by lay and pray. I don't think so. Pereira is going to make this look easy. Ankalaev's legs are toast after round 1. I tend to agree with some of that. Andrew Peden, can't wait for the breakdowns. He says, Azure, what's happening, my man? I missed the opening, but will join shortly. DA07, Fridays, 9 p.m., the time where the most beautiful degenerates in the world come together to make some money. Appreciate you. Eric, it's almost time, gents. Let's stack it. Thanks for joining, Eric. Dixon, Narco and Tim, this week, we get a lot of split decisions jammed into one card. We're getting it back in blood this week, and Poatan is going to end the career of Ankalaev, the GOAT toucher. Elijah, nothing like hitting a Lambo on a pay-per-view. Yes, sir. I'm due for one, man. Last week was brutal. Kyle, let's get that big money weekend. Yes, sir. Ted B, never had a Lambo, hit many long parlays, but not a big, long single. I have a play waiting to see if either of you get there after you review the fight, and I will advise. Gerardo, what's up, my man? Let's crush these books. Lewis woke up at 2 a.m. for this. Man, that's dedication. Where do you live, my friend? 2 a.m.? Let me figure this out. It's got to be Europe somewhere, right?
Lewis has got to be in like Australia, maybe, right?
To Australia?
No. 9
hours?
hours?
No. This has got to be somewhere in Europe. Lois, tell us where you're from. I would say somewhere in Europe, maybe like Eastern Europe, possibly. Mushroom. What's up, my man? Blunt Force. Let's go, my friend. Oreo says, what up, though? What else do we have here? Not in the AM, bro. Shout out to Narco for being the only capper on Alf and Omar Spaces that isn't a scammer. That's funny. No, there's some good guys in there, but yeah, it's funny. Luke Golding. What's up, my man? Felipe. Let's cash some Lambos. Eric, how are you doing? There will be blood is in the house. Double flush. I'm feeling some round 2 and round 3 props. Bonino missing power slap. Fuck power slap. Kavoth MMA, let's go. Dissection, what's up, my man? Luke Steinman, let's go. It's that time again. Daz, Lambo. When the T-shirts coming out. Oh yeah, I actually have some t-shirts in the works right now. T-shirt, hoodie. I'm gonna actually be giving them out to my subscribers and some of my loyals here. So yeah, I will be sending them out. No need to pay for them. I'm gonna be giving them out. I'm gonna be making them soon. So NPC Kushima says, "What's up, guys? Let's go." Jewish Better is in the house. Terry Shaba says, "Narco and Tim, can't wait to hear the whisper bet of the week. We keep doing God's work, boys." I don't know if I have a whisper bet this week. Mark says, "Gonna smash Alex like he smashes Ain't KO345. Jaime, Lambo, Breeze Masters in the house. DGen Kids, Small World Lifters. Joel, this is the big one. He says, here I come, Elizabeth. Cameron, we're all gonna be rich. I hope that's true. Subhuman, what's up? Saint Steven, poker player. Ooh, man, a lot of people in here. Hallelujah. Silky B, he says he loves you all. With that being said, Tim, I got to say one thing before I start. I need to switch the opening freaking music of this StreamYard thing. It's killing me. It's absolute. They took one that was really good and put one that absolutely sucks. Who decided to do that needs to get fired from StreamYard. Anyways.
We need to see if we can get let's get the bodies at the floor or something like that for 20 seconds and then go, you know.
If anybody in my chat has a good way of making me a little clip for the beginning of my show, just a little song, a tune. It can't be a song, actually. It has to be a tune. Hit me up. I'll pay you for it, for whatever it is. It's gonna be a small fee. It's not gonna take you that long, but yeah, shoot it to me in the DMs. Let me listen to it, and maybe I'm gonna put it on the show because this fucking beginning is it's tilting to even listen to it on this end. I can't imagine what they're feeling on that end. All right, Tim, let's start it out here. First fight of the night. We are going to start out in the middleweight division, and it is the 9-3 Ozzy Diaz versus the 10-1 Jordan Santos. What do you got for us here, my friend?
I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to go 2-3 with Santos or 3 decision with Santos. I'm a never Ozzy Diaz guy here, honestly. I really don't like anything that I saw about his game. The question to me is like, how much heart and durability does he actually have? Because I don't think Santos is packing like huge punch and like going like one hitter quitter type shit. I think that, took Pyfer 2 rounds to kill Diaz. Maybe, I'm going to go with the bigger ones. Man, I'll see what you think too, man. I mean, the round 2, round 3 versus the round 3 decision. I'm going to go actually with my gut here and not go for the gusto. I'll go round 3 is plus 950. I do think a sub is live as well as a KO. I don't think it's just KO or bust for him. He has grappled in certain fights, and he doesn't have terrible grappling. I haven't really seen much in the grappling. I didn't see at least a bunch on the Ozzy Diaz side, so I don't really know. I don't really know what he looks like on the ground, but I assume it's bad because most of his game is bad. But yeah, I'll take round 3 and decision for Santos. Round 3 is plus 950. Decision is plus 280.
Yeah. I don't think Ozzy is terrible on the. I mean, he's not very good, but he's not terrible because in the Contender Series fight versus Pyfer, he had his back. He reversed, actually. He got on top of Pyfer to end the round there. So and then Bevan Lewis took him down. He kind of had him. He got safe. He got right back up. I don't know. Santos is not going to grapple. His grappling sucks ass. Doesn't look like he has any good grappling. So what I will say is this is at 85. Ozzy Diaz is coming down from 205. He looked in fantastic shape. The best he's ever looked in his career, to be honest. And if you go on his IG, he's been working a lot of strength and conditioning and dieting, and he was preparing himself to fight at 85. The one thing I will say is, like, I know everybody's shitting on Ozzy Diaz, but like the Zhang fight in round 1, it was competitive up until, dude, that was a nasty step and elbow. Like, he caught him with a nasty step and elbow. He was competing with him. Pyfer fight on the feet, he was actually outstriking Pyfer early. And then Pyfer went for the takedown, got his back, like I said, and won that, pretty much won round 1. And then he caught him with the check left hook in round 2. But you know what, Tim? Both of these guys that he's been knocked out by are nuclear hitters, dude. Pyfer's a nuclear hitter, and so is Zhang. Santos, to me, doesn't have power, man.
Yeah, I agree.
It just doesn't seem. He beat up a fucking Cage Warriors guy that has no idea how to strike in Will Curry, right? And he wins that fight. And now all of a sudden he's some big favorite. And he's fought literally no one on the regionals. Like he lost to that one guy, Christian Torres, who's awful. So, is Ozzy Diaz good? No. Is he as bad as they're making him out to be? I don't think so. I think he's faced a better level of opposition. And he's been killed against 2 of the biggest hitters in the division at 85. One of them's at 85. The other one's at 205. I think Santos is overrated, to be honest. They're overrating him. I think he's a little bit sloppy on the feet. I think Diaz has more power of these 2 guys. But I do think it does seem like Santos is pretty durable. He got hit a couple of clean shots, took them well. I'm going to go a tricky one here, Tim. I'm going to invert it on you and say this is Diaz and Santos goes to split decision.
Like it. At
plus 650. Basically something that Diaz has never done. Like he's never been to a round 3, right? But like Jordan doesn't hit very hard. I think he has a good chin. He's a guy that has gone to decision 4 times. Yeah, it's just one of those maybe sneaky
totally agree.
Fight goes here. Close fight, 2 strikers, plus 650 on a split. And then if you like a side, right, go hit the side you like, but you're probably going to get 14, 15, 16 to 1, something like that, I would imagine, on the split. So, yeah. Fight number 2 here. It is in a bantam. Oh, sorry. It's actually not in a bantam. They are both bantamweights, but it is in the featherweight division. It is the 21-5-2 Chris Gutierrez versus the 21-7 John Castaneda. This one, so I'm going to preface this by saying that I like John Castaneda in this fight. And the reasoning is, Gutierrez is a good fighter. He's a solid fighter. He stays safe. He's good defensively, but he's a one-trick pony, man. It's kicks, and more kicks. No hands, no grappling, just nothing but kicks. And I will say his kicks are really good, right? He's got nasty kicks. But I can't really bet on a guy against another talented fighter that just kicks. Castaneda will kick, Castaneda will punch, and Castaneda will wrestle. He's the better wrestler of the 2. He's probably has the better jiu-jitsu of the 2. And the thing that really made me play Castaneda here at Pick'em is because Quang Lee, who trains every day with Castaneda, is kind of his, a guy that he took the fight on short notice, had success with the grappling, won 1 round off of grappling against this guy. And basically his legs were chewed to bits, in that fight. Castaneda can switch stances. I will say he did get his leg chopped off against Wood quite a bit, but he took him well. He was never limping, but he took a lot of inside leg kicks. But the difference is he's worried about Wood's striking, and then he was worried about Wood's. Also, he can grapple. Both those things Chris Gutierrez doesn't do. He just doesn't. I will say that as far as a Lambo is concerned, I like one side more than the other just because of Chris Gutierrez's leg kicks. The guy's always dangerous, is always live to kill your legs, and you can't walk anymore, right? He's done that many times to many people. And, some have survived, some haven't. Some have just succumbed to the leg kicks. And the number is just very big, right? It's KO 2-3 is 12 to 1, right? Is Chris Gutierrez going to knock anybody out in round 1? I highly doubt it. The guy just is not a knockout artist. Can he do it later when he fucking destroys your legs for 2 or 3 rounds? Yeah. So I went with that as my Lambo play. I will say I like the Castaneda side. That's the side I'm going on the money line. But from a Lambo perspective and, shopping these lines, I think 12-1 KO 2-3 is worth a bit of a sprinkle on Chris Gutierrez here. Tim?
Yeah, you can't hate that. I mean, he's broken really tough dudes' legs before. So, yeah, I think this fight for me, I was looking just at the ones that I thought that were most, the more viable one for me is obviously end split. It's a shitty number. It's plus 275. I just think the split is kind of obvious in this fight. The other thing is I like Castaneda pie split at plus 650. But I also don't hate, I mean, we can talk about this one. Like, I don't necessarily hate Castaneda sub at 10-1 or 11-1. I think that he's definitely the better grappler. He's definitely by far the better wrestler. And he seems to be like one of these guys that he's not a lay and pray artist. Like, he's trying to advance positions. And I think that Gutierrez is also a guy that's not just laying off. He's not playing guard. Like, he doesn't play guard. He tries to get up. And I just feel that is a possibility that he could give up his back in this situation, or get rear naked choked, or try to get up and maybe have it advance a position here from Castaneda, maybe get side control and maybe get an arm triangle or something like that. Gutierrez has been subbed. It was a long, long time ago, so it's not like he's never been subbed. But I just think that the grappling edge is huge here, and I do think that after taking a few calf kicks that really hurt, I just feel like Castaneda might be a little bit more proactive in wrestling. Do you think that the sub at 11-1 is worth a small stab, or do you think that that's not really happening?
I mean, it's worth a stab. I mean, I could see the problem is Gutierrez is very hard to sub. He's pretty good with his sub defense. He's been subbed, I think, once in his career, and I mean, Castaneda has good wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I don't think his jiu-jitsu is great. But I mean, if you want to take a shot, yeah, if the sub happens, it's Chris being tired and later maybe.
For sure.
I don't think it's early at all. I don't think it's coming in round 1. I don't think it's coming even in round 2. Most likely, if the sub's happening, it's Chris being tired and Castaneda kind of breaking him, possibly. Chris does get tired. Yeah, you could see it in some of these fights. He definitely gets tired. So I can see sub 3 maybe. What price is sub 3? It's got to be astronomical.
It's really wide. That's the thing too, is like looking back at the fighters that he's fought, like the only real dangerous grapplers are Barcelos, Durden, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? And Barcelos subbed him and Durden was a draw. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't really fought a lot of great grapplers.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't. That's a fact. He hasn't faced many great grapplers. How many submission attempts has he faced in his UFC career? Not many.
Not many. That's what I'm saying. I just think that it's kind of
Barcelos won and he subbed him.
Yeah.
One from Cody Durden and one from Andre Ewell. Wow.
I just think that the level of the guys and again, I don't think that Castaneda is not on the level of Barcelos grappling or jiu-jitsu, but it still is
the problem is Castaneda's only attempted 1 sub.
Really? It was John's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of takedowns, believe it or not. He's had 6, 7, 10. He's got 12 takedowns in the UFC, but he's only attempted 1 sub. I mean,
that's interesting. Yeah. Good to know.
It's worth a stab. I mean, if that's what you like, I don't think there's many great props on this fight. I will say I don't like. The only reason I played the KO 2-3 is because leg kicks and what I saw, a little bit in that Wood fight. Wood really landed. I think he landed somewhere in 60 leg kicks, dude. The thing is, Castaneda better not allow.
He can't take that.
If he eats 60 from this guy, his leg is going to be fucking chewed off, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously Wood is a much faster, he's much faster than Gutierrez. So, and then he had more to worry about. But all right, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 14-1 Myron Santos versus the 8-2 Francis Marshall. This one's yours, Tim.
So I want to be on the Marshall side this fight. I do think that Santos is probably I think the Marshall side is probably going to be a value loser, but from a Lambo perspective, I think I got to take some stabs on his props. I look at it similarly to the last fight, where just one of these fighters is just significantly better on the feet. I'm not saying that like Marshall's he's like a can on the feet or anything like that. I think he can hold his own and he can strike well enough to get in position to set himself up for takedowns. But I mean, most of the crew was trying to most of MMA Twitter and just the people that do shows and stuff like that were trying to fade Santos with awfully, just from a grappling perspective, and having seen what Santos did in the Dan Argueta fight and just how he looked grappling in certain spots. And that was down at 135. So I just think that this has got to be a good spot if Marshall's doing what he's doing what he does. Marshall's been training with the likes of Gamrot and Grant Dawson, those types of guys. I just feel like this has to be an obvious spot where they're telling him, hey, you know the game plan, right? The game plan is get this guy down, get a back take, and try to sub him or get a body lock and try to just hold on to him for 2 rounds. So to me, I think it's I would basically be on the same thing I did with Castaneda, but I'm more confident that a sub is more live in this fight than I would in the Castaneda fight. I don't hate Marshall by decision at plus 470, and I don't hate Marshall by sub at plus 1,000. I think that those are both good shots. I don't think he's KOing him. I don't even think he's getting a positional TKO. I think it's more of a sub for him. So I lean. I'll go with the sub, but I do think that the points is definitely a viable bet at plus 470, and I might have small bets on both of them.
Yeah, I like. I don't think this. First of all, I want to say I don't think this line's accurate. I don't have a bet on this fight. I was close to betting it. It was more of like a lean for me, and I just decided to pass. But I do think the value side is the dog here at plus 250. Francis Marshall, he's tough. He is, pretty well-rounded. He can strike. He can grapple. And he's got great cardio. The guy just has very good cardio. He can push a hard 3 rounds. And he's fighting at 45 here. Last fight, he took it on very short notice against Bazooka. Obviously got a little bit tired in round 3, but that was super short notice, guys. And that was at 55, probably not in the best shape. He's been at ATT since. He did this old camp at ATT. He's working a lot with Grant Dawson. I expect him to grapple here, honestly. Marion Santos, young guy, very young guy, 24 years old. Definitely improving, getting better, very good striking, good speed, good takedown defense. We saw it against Offley, but I do think Offley's grappling's probably not very good, his wrestling. When he fought Argueta, which is a couple of years ago, he just couldn't stay off the ground. He was getting grounded very easily in that fight, and he was just absolutely getting mauled. Is he going to get mauled here? I don't think Francis Marshall is going to maul him. What I will say is, and this is something I will give credit to Francis Marshall. It's not easy to get William Gomes down, especially keeping him down. And he did. He did and almost subbed him in round 3 in that fight. So as hard as it is to get to William Gomes, yet he did, and yet he still got in that position, makes me believe that he can get Marion Santos down. The other thing I don't like with Marion Santos is when a lot of punches are coming his way, he shells up a lot. He's young. Maybe he improves on that. He shells up quite a bit. And I think when he does that, it's going to open up an opportunity for Marshall to shoot a double leg and probably get him down. And the other thing is Marshall is probably stronger than all of these guys that Santos has faced. Like Offley is awful. Edwin Cooper had success with takedowns, but he just doesn't know. He has no jiu-jitsu at all, Edwin Cooper. So yeah, I mean, listen, decision is 470. Split is 11-1. That's where I'm going with this fight, just because I do think Marshall's a dog, man. And I think he's going to be improved here. ATT is much better than where he's at, Pellegrino's gym. So I'm going to take a shot with the split and the decision here on Francis Marshall.
Love it.
Moving on, fight number 4. It is in a welterweight division. It is the 24-11 Alex Morono versus the 21-6 Carlos Leal. And I will kick this one off. I mean, Alex Morono, like, I like the guy. He's a veteran. He's fought a lot, but, he's got 2 wins in his last 6 fights, right? Got knocked out against Ponzinibbio in round 3. He's been getting hurt in some of these fights. He looked terrible against Nico Price, who is shot to bits.
Court McGee should have been a loss.
That Rodriguez fight last time was close, but I don't think that Rodriguez is kind of shot too, to be honest. I don't think this is not the same D-Rod that we once had, Court McGee, like you referenced, that fight was very close, and he got the better end of it. I just think Leal he's just got more horsepower, man. This guy is, clearly roiding. I don't know how he's passing these tests or if he's even getting tested. But the guy hits super hard. He's very, very strong. He's still only 30 years old, Tim. He has a ton of experience. So this is not a guy coming in here that, Morono can out-experience, right? This guy has a lot of experience himself. And the guy just hits very, very fucking hard. And he's very strong. Like, look at Renat. Like, he could not take this guy down. They absolutely robbed him, like robbed him like blind. Like, they put blinders on the guy and they told him, hey, don't just close your ears and don't listen to this decision because you're about to get robbed. And it was like brutal, man. One of the worst decisions last year, to be honest. And I had a bet on him there, a pretty big bet, and I got screwed over on that. This is terrible. But I just think it's going to be him with a KO here. I just can't give it, dude. It's a stupid number. It's like minus, what is it? Minus 125. I can't give you guys that. I really don't like anything else here. Even KO1 is terrible. KO2 is terrible. I'm passing on this fight, Tim. I can't give anything. I think it's Leal by KO. But like I said, it's minus 125. What am I going to – that doesn't fall into the Lambo category, right? It doesn't fall into the fucking used Toyota Corolla category. So, yeah, I'm passing, Tim. Hopefully you have something for the people here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's most likely a KO2 or a KO3, probably a KO2 in my opinion. It's plus 550 for KO2 and it's plus 750 for KO3. I just think that Morono's I don't think that he's super durable at this stage in the game. He's getting hurt by everybody, but he's got that style, which is just like in and out karate, kind of avoiding fights type of shit. I think he's going to avoid it for enough, probably get hurt at the end of the round, hopefully can survive, and then dies in round 2. So I think it's just, I'm with you. KO alone, you can't kind of give. Maybe we can give it as a, enhance some of our parlays at the end or something like that. But yeah, I agree that eventually he's going to hurt and get him out of there. But I mean, the funny thing is they're hanging like the KO and the decision line are just both shit. Like they're just both terrible. The decision's plus 165. It's like, dude, what are we talking about? You're giving.
Yeah. I went back and watched Leal's fight. He just ever grapples. He doesn't grapple.
No.
Like people shoot on him. He stuffs them. They pull guard sometimes. He's on top, but he just doesn't grapple. And, maybe Morono shoots on him. I don't know. The guy is he's bouncing all over the place. But I don't know. I think they're doing Leal a favor here, honestly. At the end of the day, they're like, hey, listen, we know you got robbed. We were in Saudi Arabia. We were trying to hype up this fraud, Renat, who's not really as good as we thought he is. And we robbed you, and we apologize for robbing you. Maybe we should have gave it to you. But yeah, let's move on here. Fight number 5. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 12-2 Bruno Ferrera versus the 8-4 Armen Petrosyan. What do you got here, Tim?
I think this is a good fight. I think I'm going to go with the Armen side, and Armen in round 3. Let's go. Armen round 3 is plus 1,000. Armen by decision is plus 270. I think that's the way to go in this fight. I just don't think that Armen, unless he gets a head kick or something like that and catches him, he just typically is not one-shotting guys. A lot of the guys that he's finishing are kind of in this similar situation where they're going for takedowns. They get tired, he gets back up, and then he finishes them later on in fights. So he's usually if he is getting finishes, it's attritional damage. So yeah, I think he's just a better minute winner here. I think he's going to have a major volume edge, better at range. It's going to be, obviously Ferrera has one-shot power. Ferrera's also got good judo and good power and ability to get fights. If he wants them, he can get fights to the ground. But I think the more he tries to get this fight to the ground, if he doesn't finish, it's just going to gas him out for later. I didn't think that his cardio was honestly as bad as most people were saying, going into the last fight. I think Abus and him both were gassers. I think that he landed in a bad spot in round 3, and he got mounted. And once he got that spot, it was kind of over for him. But I thought that his cardio actually held up pretty well through the first 10 minutes or so of that fight. So yeah, give me Armen. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be super easy for him, but he'll probably have some dangerous moments. And give me Armen round 3 and Armen by decision.
Yeah. So when I look at Bruno Ferrera, right, I agree with you. He didn't look terrible in round 3 against Abus, but Abus is a gasser himself. So what am I supposed to if you look at the fight, Abus landed 26 significant strikes in that fight in 3 rounds. The guy was just no volume. He's kicking, not really doing much, right? And then, everything else has been round 1, Tim. That's it. Everything else has been round 1. So I think the difference that people are overlooking here is Armen Petrosyan has very, very high volume for this division. Look at some of these numbers. 127 significant strikes versus Gregory Rodriguez in 3 rounds. 118 versus AJ Dobson. 89 versus Leroy Duncan, who's hard. Leroy Duncan is hard to land on because he's dancing around a lot, right? 77 in 2 rounds versus Shara last fight. If he puts up that pace on Ferrera's fucked, I'm telling you. He's not going to survive 3 rounds. And people are saying, oh, well, he doesn't have a lot of power and this. But dude, he's facing pretty fucking durable dudes. Shara's durable. It's just hard to finish a guy like that. The one guy, maybe Dobson, he should have maybe. But, then again, Dobson grappled some in that fight. And he rocked Dobson in that fight, And Duncan doesn't get finished. He's tough to finish. And then Caio, some of these guys are very hard to finish, right? But I don't think Ferrera's hard to finish because he's a gasser compared to these other guys. He's going to gas. So I actually like round 2, round 3 quite a bit here for Petro. I think round 2 KO is 900. Round 3, I can't give it as a whisper bet. But if you go to Hard Rock, it's 15-1, not 1,000, Tim. 15-1 on Hard Rock. So if you have Hard Rock, 1-5-1 on just the round 3 on Armen Petrosyan. I like it a lot, man. I think if Armen does not get finished early, he is going to finish Ferrera. And one more thing, I think from looking at Ferrera, I don't think the guy is in good shape either at weigh-ins. I did not like what I saw. It looked kind of flabby to me. So I think Armin's going to put the pace on this guy. The one thing with Armin, Tim, is he can take a punch, man. The guy is tough as hell. I mean, look, Charo landed a meme double fist. Now, how often is that going to happen? But look at the shots he took from Gregory Rodriguez in that fight, man. That was an absolute fucking war back and forth against G-Rod. And we know G-Rod hits very, very hard. So obviously Ferrera hits very hard. You don't want to take his shots clean and stuff like that. But I really feel this 2-3 here, man. I really do. Probably my favorite props on this whole card is his round 2-3 KO props here. So I'm gonna go on the limb here and go with my guy Armin. I think he's gonna get it done here against this KO merchant that if he doesn't KO you, he's got no other way to win. All right, let's move on. Fight number 6. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 10-0 Rai Suruya versus the 12-2 Joshua Van. And I will kick this one off. I gave Joshua Van earlier in the week. I think it was like 11-1 and 18-1, 2-3 KO. Those lines have gone down quite a bit. So what I'm looking at here is something that, if you want to play Van 2-3 KO at 500, I don't think it's bad. I think that is a path that happens, right? But I do think that Suruya sub 1-2 at plus 1,000 is a very good bet as well. And the one thing I will tell you guys, which is funny, this is a funny thing I will say. Earlier in the week, like 2 days ago, I was telling Sean, I was like, hey, I'm not going to put this out there. I'm waiting for the lines to drop. I'm going to play Suruya by Twister when MGM opens, right? I tell him this. 3 hours later, someone in my Discord goes on the chat and says, hey, I wonder what his Twister bet is going to be. And then sure enough, MGM puts him up and it was 200-1. They smacked it and it was gone by the time I tried to get there. It was 50-1. So I didn't get in, but it was 200-1 on his Twister, which I would have definitely played. The guy just goes for it. Like I know some people are saying, it's hard to get it on certain people, but I don't care. Like the guy goes for the Twister almost every fight. He does this weird shit with his jiu-jitsu. He twists you up like a fucking pretzel and tries to attack subs. There are all kinds of weird shit. So, yeah, I mean, that's how I see this fight going. Early, Suruya is dangerous if he can get you down and gets Van down, and he has sneaky jiu-jitsu. So Van needs to watch out. If he doesn't get him down and he fails on these attempts, he's going to get cooked. He's going to get cooked like a fucking barbecue chicken. Yeah. What do you got here, Tim?
I have the exact same breakdown. I think it's Ray sub 1-2, Van KO 2-3. Same exact echo chamber on this one. This one seems pretty easy to cap, but I think we've all seen enough of Van almost murdering people and then going to decision that I'll be ready for when that happens as well. that Ray will probably be able to survive and kill all the round 3 KOs and round 2 KOs for us. But yeah, I don't disagree, man. I just think that I also think that Van's like historically Van is just a much better live play than pre-play. Like he's so similar to Charles Johnson. Like I remember when we were both capping the Johnson fight, it's like, well, both these guys lose 9 out of 10 of their first round. So which one's going to actually lose the first round in this fight, or is it going to be a draw? And it's just like they both lose. Like it's uncanny. Like they both lose seriously 85-90% of their first rounds. And so yeah, I think that's very likely here. Like you said with Ray with the sub in the early rounds, it's just like super dangerous guy. Like it's also one of those things where it's like if you are training and you're working on your jits defense and different things, it's like against traditional grapplers it might be better, but Ray's not going to be throwing traditional shit at you. He's not going to be throwing like he's going to be doing some wild shit, and he's going to be going for wild transitions that you're probably not training for. So,
yeah. Give credit to Joshua Van. He won round 1 versus Durden. I think on 2 judges scored, not maybe 3, 2 or 3, whatever. He won round 1. I did look at that. I'm like, oh, shit, he won.
It can be done.
It can be done. Exactly. Yeah. It can be done. So let's go over to chat a little. I haven't seen what my chat is doing, what they're saying. Van and my parlays. Never been more confident, says Joel. Jewish says at 200-1, it's worth a shot. I know Van been putting a lot of work on twister defense. Yeah. I mean, once you're putting that shit, you're in fucking deep trouble. I don't think he's going to get it on him, but it's worth a shot, like I said. Listen to Cashville Rican. Hit that like button. Support the show, please. Appreciate you guys. Also, subscribe. Like, I think I am 150 away from 3,000. Can you please subscribe if you haven't? Just one click of the button. It helps the show. It helps the analytics, the whatever the hell they want. And comment. Yeah, comment after the show drops, throw up some questions and concerns. With that being said, Tim, let's move over. Fight number 7. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 18-5 Curtis Blades versus the 13-2-1 Rizvan Kuniev. What do you have here, Tim?
This was a weird one. I'm going to go with Blades round 3 decision. It's weird to know what, it's really weird to know what Blades is going to try to do in fights. I do think that he's better pretty much everywhere minus durability at this stage in the game. I think he's got strength advantage. I think he's got cage push, wrestling advantage. Better just better striking in general. I just didn't like very much from what I saw from Kuniev in his fights. I just feel like he's got to make this super, super dirty or just connect on a huge shot. So, yeah, I'll take Blades round 3 plus 950, decisions plus 210.
Yeah, this is an interesting fight, man. I've been going back and forth on it all week. And I said, if Kuniev comes in shape, I'm going to play him. He came in 264.5. He doesn't look as bad as Dana White's Contender Series, but he also doesn't look as good when he fought Renan Ferrera, when he was on all the freaking sauce. He popped for like 6 different steroids in that fight. But you know what? I went back to a lot of his fights earlier. Like I'll explain. So I went to the fight against Vladimir Danenko, who's actually a pretty good heavyweight right now. He just fought on LFA, pretty good heavyweight, 17-5. He finished him in round 3. It was a 5-round fight. He looked the same as he looks now, right? He had a belly. He wasn't fit. The Rude fight, same thing. He grappled for 3 rounds. He had a belly. The one against Abasov, same thing. He had a belly. He was a bigger guy. What I'm trying to say is, even with a belly, he has pretty good cardio for 3 rounds, like no problem. He can grapple hard for 3 rounds, and I do think his hands are pretty good. He's a combat sambo guy. He's got very fast hands, honestly, for a big guy. He's a little loopy with his punches, right? Like a lot of heavyweights, so that's not very good. But he does throw variety, like uppercuts, hooks. Sometimes he'll throw a jab here and there, not much of a jab guy, but he does throw them. And, Curtis Blades has faced much better guys, right? The top of the top. But he's been getting knocked out, man. He's been getting knocked out a lot. It's just a sight like Tom Aspinall knockout. It wasn't even a normal knockout. It was a jab, bro. It was a jab that dropped him bad. And it's like, you got to be concerned with this guy's chin at this point. Like, his chin is definitely an issue. It's just one of those things that whether it's confidence, I don't know. The other thing you have to take into account is this guy made it to the top of the mountain, right? And he got this shot for the interim title and he lost. And where does he go from here, right? He's got to climb this mountain again. So, you look at the Jailton Almeida fight, and yeah, he elbowed Almeida and he finished him. But was that looking good for him? Like takedowns one after another, rinse and repeat. And some people say, well, that was his game plan. But like, okay, but all it took is like one time Jailton get to his back, and then what? What's the game plan then? You didn't get up, right? So the thing is, Kuniev, if he gets on top, he's a lot bigger than fucking Almeida is. It's going to be much harder for you to get up. And I do think that's possible he can get some takedowns here, Kuniev. His ground and pound is actually pretty good. Even on the feet, he has power as well. And it's heavyweight, man. At the end of the day, it's heavyweight. And I am questioning a little bit of Blade's chin. I am. So I'm going to poke at Kuniev KO. Like it's 7-1. Okay. But hear me out. This is heavyweight, guys. Like this KO at 7-1 is too big. It's heavyweight. The guy has power, and Blades has shown that if a jab can knock you down, right, then you can probably get knocked out by almost any heavyweight. So 7-1. I'm going to take a shot there. Like, I just think the line's way, way, way too big at 7-1. Like, his money line's 250. I think his KO should be 450, 500, right? Not 7-1. So they're telling me it's going to be what, 12% on the KO? I'm going to take a chance. I think it's more than 12%. So, for me, it's Kuniev by KO here at plus 700. It's on, by the way, it's on Hard Rock if you want it. And I think 365. What else do we have here? They say under 2.5 parlay piece. Fiziev got okay defense wrestling. Feels like a setup for Fiziev to win, but the dog here. Actually, he's got I've never seen him on his back, but I'm pretty sure he's got good wrestling. This the guy's he's from Dagestan. He's one of those guys. He's always with Ankalaev. Like, you got to assume this guy has good counter wrestling, So I don't think Blades is going to have an easy time taking this guy down. I just don't.
We don't even know if Blades will take him. We don't even know if Blades will go for takedowns.
Yeah. And Elijah one says KO1 is 16-1. That's not bad. All right, let's move on. Fight number 8. It is in the lightweight division. It is a 32, 16-1 King Bobby Green versus the 11-1 Mauricio Rufy. And I got to talk about this one too, because everybody bashed me when I played James Iliantop versus this guy last time. And this fucker was losing round 1 bad up until he hurt Iliantop with like 10 seconds left, stole the round. He won round 2, but then proceeded to lose round 3 against Iliantop as like a minus 1100. And everybody was bashing me. Listen, I'm a Mauricio Rufy hater. I don't think this guy is very good. I think he's low volume. He has cardio issues, obviously, because he didn't look great in round 3 last fight, right? And you've seen him get hurt before, dropped by an absolute bum before, okay? It's not a guy that I'm willing to lay big juice on, right? But here's the thing in this fight. Bobby Green is very experienced. Bobby Green is a good striker, right? He's better than Iliantop. He's a better striker than Iliantop. He's got more volume. He's better defensively. But the one thing Bobby Green doesn't have to me anymore is durability. His durability is shot. I don't think he has any good durability anymore. And the one thing Mauricio Rufy does have is a ton of power. I will give him that. He has a ton of power. He can hurt you very bad. We saw what he did to Iliantop's face. So he's got a ton of power. And I just don't see Bobby Green taking a shot from this guy clean. But the problem is the line sucks, Tim. I gave out KO plus 105, whatever. The line just stinks. I can't play Rufy's KO lines, right? So then we talk about if Bobby wins, what is his path? It's Bobby by split decision, 16-1. That's the only thing I can play here. I don't see Bobby knocking him out. I don't see Bobby submitting him. If Bobby wins, it's a very, very close fight that he won, and it's 16-1. So Bobby decision by split, 16-1 for me. Tim?
Yeah, echo chamber. Bobby points plus 750. Bobby split plus 1600. I'm not going to take this shot on the Rufy losing until he wins because those lines are terrible. But yeah, I think it's most likely what happens is that he does eventually get outstruck 3-1 and then lands the one and then kills him. But yeah, Bobby at this point, you gotta keep trying to fade this dude. You gotta keep trying to fade Rufy.
You know what's crazy at face-offs? Usually Bobby's more animated and he's like talking shit. Bro, it's the first time I ever seen him at face-offs quiet. They didn't say a fucking word.
We need that performance like fucking Barcelos, where you're like, okay, Barcelos never wrestles, and now he's got the everybody thinks I'm gonna lose versus Talbot, so I'm gonna fucking show him. And now we need that from Bobby. We need I'm gonna actually be a little bit more defensive here. And
dude, don't even I forgot about it until I retaped it, and I'm like, oh my God. Fucking Turner absolutely murdered. I mean, it was like a lifeless body, and he just kept punching and punching. And Hadley's just looking. He's like going to different directions. I'm like, you motherfucker, the guy's limp. Stop the fuck.
He took 10 years off of his life. That fight.
I mean, that was fucking stupid, bro. Like really, really stupid. How could a fucking a ref that's so experienced mess up that bad? Like, and he's right on top of the play, man. He's right on top of it like this, and he's watching and he's moving around. And it's like, bro, the guy's limp 3 times. And fucking Turner's just absolutely throwing hammers.
In a position where he, even if he wasn't limp, it's just like, dude, he cannot defend himself. Like he
you know what pisses me off? You know what pisses me off more than anything watching that? And people will agree with this for sure. What pisses me off is Turner knew he was out, and he just kept throwing huge shots, right? And okay, fine, the referee didn't stop it. But then he drops Moicano, and he's asking the ref to stop the fight. You believe that shit?
Yep.
That's what pisses me off.
Overcorrections. Yeah, man, all the
time. Anyways, all right, let's move on here. Fight number 9. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 14-4-1 Amanda Lemos versus the 17-5 Asmin Lucindo. Tim, what do you got for us?
I'm going to be on the Lemos side here. Historical Lemos lover. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those things with me with Lemos that I think I've got to. I love money, and she brings me money both for and against her. So I kind of like her fights. Yeah, this to me, I just think that this is a good spot for her. I know that she's old. I know that the metrics on, having a fighter this much older than her opponent is not good historically. I understand that. To me, I just think striking is clear Lemos. Lucindo has okay hands, not great. Lucindo needs body lock takedowns and top time here to win. Is that possible for her to get it? Yep, it is. But it's also possible that if she doesn't get the body lock takedown, that she gets her head taken off in the process. And it's also possible that she sticks her head in the wrong place and Amanda has a absolutely nasty squeeze. That she's gotten people out before. So I could see this being like a Watterson set up on the tap. I could see this be a bonk situation. Either one I could really see. So I'm going to go Lemos ITD plus 350. I think that's good. I think if you want to take, if you like If you like the KO, obviously it's 650. If you like the sub, it's 850. But I'm going to go just basic inside the distance from her. I think that's a good spot. I think she could literally bonk her, and I also think that she could sub her.
Yeah, man. I had listen. I think Lucindo is way overrated. I took Marina Rodriguez last time plus 170. Fucking one judge gave Lucindo round 1 when she got dropped. I just still don't understand how he gave her that round. That's what made Marina lose the fight, by the way. 2 of the judges gave Marina Rodriguez 2 rounds, and she still lost the fucking fight. That's how bad that was. And now the thing is, okay, this is the thing people refer to, and I'm gonna tell them a good reasoning of why I like Lemos here quite a bit. Okay, people are saying, well, Lemos is 37, right? And Lucindo's young, you know, she's 23. How old do people think Marina Rodriguez was when she fought Lucindo? Same age. She was 37. And Lucindo was young, right? And I think Lemos is a way more dangerous version of Marina Rodriguez.
100%.
Better. She's just better everywhere. She's better on the ground. She's better in the striking. She hits harder. And now she's a dog again to Lucindo. And I just don't understand why she's a dog. She's the better striker. She has more power. The only thing Lucindo has on her is wrestling. But if you see how Lucindo gets takedowns, they're all like trip takedowns. They're not double legs. They're not anything like that, right? And I just Lemos looks stronger to me, man, of the two. Like, yeah, she got Marina Rodriguez down, but Marina Rodriguez is weak. She has those thin legs, thin arms. You know, she's not very strong. Lemos is strong, right? The girls that are grappling Lemos are really, really high-level grapplers. Mackenzie Dern. What's that other girl? Jandiroba.
Weili
Zhang, right? And she had submission attempts in those fights, man. She had submission attempts in a lot of those fights. And if I'm not mistaken, she had 1 last time against Jandiroba, 2 against Weili Zhang, 1 against Rodriguez, 1 against Watterson. So 1 against Granger earlier where she got it. She's dangerous on the ground, dude. She is. I think she's a black belt, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that Lemos sub is off, Tim. I think Lemos sub is where it's off. It's plus 900. I could see 2 ways. I could see this girl maybe getting guillotined. I can see a club and sub. Mm-hmm. I can see multiple ways. I can even see a reversal where Lemos gets on top and threatens submissions. You know? So plus 900 on the sub on Lemos. Sign me the hell up. I like Lemos here. I might add. I have 1 unit. I should go bigger. She's plus 125. I can't believe it. The line's actually going up. And, man, people are overrating this Lucindo chick. I don't get it. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think this line's right. I think it's reversed. Actually, I think minus 140, minus 148 should be Lemos. And Lucindo should be plus money in this fight. So
I think if you add, even if you add, I think that like you're probably going to have a good chance to arb off in round 1. Like I think that there's a good shot that Lemos's best round is typically round 1. So like I don't know. I'm with you 100%. I think ITD and sub are the ways that I would go.
Yeah, I mean I don't know, man. She's so much more dangerous. I don't think Lucindo's all that dangerous. So we'll see.
She's been subbed before multiple times too, and she's younger.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Fight number 10. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 14-8 Jalen Turner versus 16-5 Ignacio Bahamondes. This might be the tallest lightweight fight ever. Is that like a thing? It should be. Should be a thing. We're talking about 6'3" against 6'3", isn't it?
It's got to be close.
Yeah, 6'3". There cannot be another. When was there? Someone tell me when there was a 6'3" against 6'3" fight. I don't think I've ever seen it at 155 at least. It's got to be the 2 tallest guys in the division. Ignacio struggled to make weight. He needed the curtain. Jalen Turner looked amazing. He came in under 155, 154 and a half, which says that, his weight cut might have been really, really good, because usually he struggles as well. He's a big, big, big 55er. And when I look at these two guys, like, one guy is the better mixed martial artist in general, everywhere. That's Jalen Turner. The other guy has the intangibles. He is better cardio, more volume. I think that's it, because his durability is very shaky, right? His durability is not the best. He gets hurt a lot. He's been dropped. He survived. He survived. This survivability, and that's because cardio, right? His cardio is usually good. Jalen Turner is just a better fighter, man. He's the better striker. He's cleaner. He has more power. And yet here we are, and he's the dog. Again, I think the wrong guy is the dog here. And maybe because Bahamondes is on this 2-fight win streak, and he's won, I don't know how many has he won, 5 out of his last 6. He's looking good. Even though his competition has been shit, I don't think his wins have been any good. Giagos and that guy, the Torres guy that gasses after 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, Turner's fighting the top guys. He's losing a split to Hooker. He's losing a split to Gamrot, and both of them, you could have said he won those fights, right?
Yep.
Moicano won, complete brain fart, complete bad brain fart, where he allowed Moicano to recover and pointed to the ref, and then he eventually got subbed in round 2, right, via grappling. But the guy has just faced better competition. He's got, better wins. He knocked out Bobby Green easily in that fight, absolutely killed him. We were just talking about that. And yet he's the dog here, man. I do think Turner can hurt him. I do think Turner can probably knock him out as well. But I'm leaning more towards decision here, because it's 550 and his split is like, I think 13 or 14-1, something like that.
Yes,
I just like Turner's side here, man. Like, can he knock him out? Sure. But I also think he can win a decision. And the only reason, because the line's close, right? The only reason that you can make sense in why his decision prop is plus 550 is because Turner's 0-4 in decisions. 3 of them are by split.
Yep.
3 of those 4 are by split. So, it's one of those things where, it's not like Bahamondes is going to grapple him to a decision, right? It's not happening, right? If anybody grapples, it's Turner. So I don't know. The line just seems wrong to me here. I think Turner should be favorite and Bahamondes should be the dog here. What do you have?
It's hilarious, man, because I had Turner by split against Hooker and I had Turner by split against Gamrot. So like I at least I hit the end split on those fights, but it was absolutely like, dude, I knew I'm the one that I was more upset about was the Gamrot one. I thought he won the Gamrot one. I thought that the Hooker one was like, maybe he could have won, but I thought he lost it.
Look at that. I love hearing that. He was a pound under 1 week ago. That means he's been on fucking point for this camp. That's what that tells me.
Yeah.
Didn't even 1 week ago he was a pound under. Holy
yeah,
fuck.
Those lines
dialed the hell in.
The lines too for Turner on decision, and I think I got like plus 700 versus Gamrot and like set 16 or 1800 on his split and lost. And like it's basically the same thing. Like here, I just think the same thing. Like I honestly think that it's very, very possible he could put out Bahamondes in round 1. Like there's no doubt in my mind. Like he could win in every single which way that I possibly. Like I think that if it gets out of round 1, though, that's where I think that it's the GTD is more live. Even in the first like maybe couple minutes of round 2, I think that round 1 is his major finishing upside for Jalen here. And I don't think that it's like, I know that people are talking about like the volume edge is there for Bahamondes and he usually out volumes guys, but dude, the guy's so fucking hittable. Like he gets hit and and not only does he get hit, he takes damage so badly. Like his face is always beat to shit at the end of a fight. Like even in the wheel kick fight, he look at his face before he wheel kicks him.
That's the other thing. Good thing you mentioned that. Like Roosevelt Roberts' jab could not fucking miss.
Right?
It was like attached to his face in that
like,
fight.
I just don't think I don't think it's something that like Jalen Turner is not going to be able to connect on him on when he gets tired too. Like I just think that he's long enough and he's going to be able to get like this is a guy that usually gets hit a ton by a bunch of guys and shows so much damage. So yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing. I really like the end split plus 650, Jalen points plus 550, Jalen splits plus 1400.
All right, guys in chat, do me a favor. End of the show, we're gonna do the people's Lambo parlay. So make sure you guys, everybody, have a parlay. Have a Lambo play in mind so that you guys can post it at the end, and we'll pick the three of them that are the most popular. Whoever posts, three of them that are the most popular. So everybody think of one. Now, don't put them out now. We're going to put them out at the end when we do our Lambo parlays, and we're going to have the people's Lambo parlay. Tim, how do you like that one? We're going to call it the people's Lambo or the chat's Lambo parlay. All right. That being said, let's move on. Co-main event of the night, and it is in the lightweight division. It is the 25-5 Justin Gaethje versus the 12-3 Rafael Fiziev. Tim, Lambo play for the co-main.
Going back to the well, you guys know this. End split plus 450, two strikers, close fight, last fight. I'm a little scared of the durability on Gaethje at this point. But I think that he's probably going to play it a little bit safer. I thought the first fight was nice. I thought the first fight was should have been a decision for Fiziev. I thought he won round 1 and round 2. But yeah, I mean, basically goes back to the reason of why I bet all the splits and cash. Like last week, cashed a bunch of these ends by splits. Like I just think that it's just you get two strikers, they're not going to grapple each other, and judges are just going to be questioning, and it's going to be pretty similar in volume. It's not going to be crazy. They're both going to be able to get their shots off, and if nobody's getting KO'd, these are just it's really tough to judge these fights for these judges. It's not tough to judge them for us, I think, but it's tough for 3 judges to agree on them. So ends by split is plus 450. I lean Fiziev side. I think plus 800 for him by split is good as well. If you want, his points is plus 240, so that's just a little bit under the Lambos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned with the short notice, honestly, for Fiziev. It's super short notice, flying across the world. He's in the Thailand, and he's coming off those, what is it, 2 knee surgeries now. Like it's kind of bad situation, to be honest. Like he's been out of the cage almost 18 months. It's like short notice, 18 months off, ACL fucked up. A lot of things are going bad for him here. The one thing I will say is Justin Gaethje's coming off one of the worst knockouts too in Holloway. That Holloway fight. I know it's been a while. It's been almost a year, but it definitely was one of the worst knockouts, So that could be said, and he's taken a lot of damage. With all that being said, I think this fight probably goes again, man. These 2 guys are very tough. Both of them are extremely tough. Gaethje decision is 380. What's his split, Tim?
Gaethje's 900.
That's it?
I think that's what I saw. Yeah,
that
when I was
sucks.
It's 8 or 10. It's 9 or 10.
Oh, okay. So it's 450 by split, but it's only 8. That's horrific.
Yeah, it's 9. Like I was right, 9.
Yeah, that's very low. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to the decision prop then at plus 380. No need to get greedy here. Plus 380 on Gaethje decision. In a perfect world, right, where this fight is a camp, Fiziev has a camp, he's not coming off all this other nonsense, I play him here. I think he's a good play. But the short notice, flying across the country, been off for a while, all these things, ring rust, all these things are real things, And when you look at the first fight, whether you like it or not, it was a close fight. Do I think Fiziev won? Yes. But we got to remember that was on a full camp, preparing for this fight, everything. It's much different this way. So, I think Gaethje's the side, like with all the circumstances and the prices. I'm not playing him, but decision prop for me, plus 380 is fine. All right, 559 live viewers. Appreciate you. Please do me a favor. Hit the like down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I need to get to 3,000. We are very close. 28. I think I'm at 2870 or something like that. I would appreciate that. Also, if you are not in my Discord and you don't have my plays, the link is down below. 25% off. Narco 25 is the code. We hit a plus 470 today, Tim. In the one championship, we hit a plus 470 dog in the first fight of the night. So that was a great thing. So yeah, I mean, dude, $25 a month. I'm telling you guys, you'll make a lot more than that just with live plays. Like if you don't do anything and just go into the live plays, you'll make a ton more than $25. But yeah, enough of that. I have to always, as they call it, chill my Discord or whatever you want to call it. And with that being said, let's move on to the main event of the night. And it is in the light heavyweight division. It is your champion, the 12-2 Alex Poatan Ferrera versus the 21-1 Magomed Ankalaev. And I will kick this one off. There's a lot of people split on this. Like most people that I see, most of the, I would say, MMA bettors that I know, that I respect, most of them are on Ankalaev. They see the grappling edge. They see the striking pretty close. I can't disagree with them that he has a grappling edge. The striking is fairly close. I agree with them there. Where I disagree with them is when I watch Ankalaev, and I watched, maybe 15 of his fights. I went way back. I was like, maybe let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. And I had to go far back as 2016 in Artur Ashtakov, where he absolutely grappled every single round. He literally went grapple heavy game plan, grapple. Maxim Grisham fight, he didn't grapple much. Actually, Maxim Grisham was on top of him some of the time. The only other fight that he grappled a lot was against Yakji Muradov in 2014. I went that far back to watch to see how much has this guy ever grappled in his career. And honestly, it's not much, man. This guy, you could say whatever you want in a Krylov fight. He got 3 takedowns. He did not get a takedown until round 2, and it was off a caught kick. And the only reason he caught it is because Krylov went like a spinning kick, and he caught it and took him down. That's the only reason he got a takedown, right? So, he's saying, and people say, well, he has to grapple here, right? Well, I could easily say he probably should have grappled against Johnny Walker in the second fight because he lost round 1 in that fight, but he didn't grapple. He decided to strike and give Johnny Walker an opportunity to hurt him or whatever, right? Then you go back and you look at the Thiago Santos fight. Thiago Santos was shot at that point. Why did he not fucking grapple in that fight where he got dropped and he got hurt in that fight too on the feet? Why isn't he not grappling there? So, like everybody referencing this grappling, He's supposed to do it against Santos. Santos hits very hard, and his only opportunity to win that fight is to knock out Ankalaev, and he hurt him in that fight. So why is he not grappling in that fight? Like, what's the reasoning? You know why? Because people fail to realize that this guy's a striker first. He is, I don't care what his last name is. He's a striker first. He likes to strike. And I just haven't seen many double legs from this guy. This guy's all body lock takedowns, trips. I don't think those things are going to be very effective versus Ferrera. I think you need to get to his legs and get him down. And the only double leg I did see Ankalaev was against Jan. I saw him go for a double leg and he got him down. Other than that, he's really not gone down for double leg takedowns. So it's like one of those things that you expect this guy or he should do this, but he really doesn't do it. The other thing that sticks out on tape is he's getting his leg chopped off in every single. Johnny Walker was hitting his leg. Alexander Rakic was destroying his leg from the outside leg kicks. Jan destroyed both of his legs. I mean, every single fight he's getting his leg chewed up. Even Ozdemir hit him. Like, and now he's facing the best leg kicker in the division that will kill you if he lands. If he lands the amount of kicks some of these guys land, Ankalaev is not walking anymore. How the hell is he going to wrestle? Right? And here, look at this stat Mushroom put. 0.9 takedowns per fight, dude. Like, the guy just doesn't grapple, man. So, for me, it's like, I feel like he's going to chop those legs, honestly. Alex is one of the best with the outside leg kicks against Southpaw. He has the fastest and most powerful lead leg outside leg kicks. And I think Alex is going to probably chop him down and maybe finish him later. KO 345. We're going back to the well. This was the play last week with Manel Cape. I'm going right back to the well, Tim, here. Alex 345 KO plus 470. That's just, I don't have a play on this fight. I'm going to wait till live, but I'm leaning Alex here. I can't just guess and say this guy's going to all of a sudden start putting his singlet on and he's going to absolutely go takedown after takedown after takedown. I haven't seen it. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown, man. I've been on both sides of the fence on this one, to be honest, all week long. And what eventually gets me to my pick, and I do think that this fight has multiple iterations and different ways that this fight can go, obviously for different reasons. But it basically goes I agree with your take that he doesn't grapple, and the opinion that I have on it is I think that there are certain obviously you guys know I'm a tennis coach for years now, and I coach these high performance kids, and some kids are just ego players, and other kids are just smart as shit, and they don't give a shit about their ego, and they just do whatever you tell them to do, and you tell them that this will win you the match, and they'll just fucking do whatever you tell them. And other kids are just ego players. And Ankalaev is an ego player. He's an ego fighter. He goes strength to strength. He doesn't go multiple fights like you're saying, and all of these different examples. It's all ego. I mean, the only explanation for a reason as to why you don't do that in these fights is because you think that you can beat them at their strength. That's it. That's the only logical explanation. It's either that or you're just incredibly dumb. And so neither one of those is good for him. I don't think it's an incredibly dumb thing. I think it's that he's got a major ego and that he can beat these guys at their strength to strength. And yeah, I just think that's now. That being said, I think that there's a lot of I do think that if he wrestles and if he does go after wrestling, which is a gigantic if, he's a better wrestler than everybody that's gotten down Alex Pereira. Every single person. Mike Michailidis got him down twice. Jan got him down 3 times. Izzy got him down. Yuri got him down. These guys are not good wrestlers. They're point blank not good wrestlers. And they all got him down. And it wasn't really that difficult. And they weren't great takedowns. So again, gigantic if Ankalaev wrestles, yeah, he's gonna get him down, and then if he gets him down, his top time is going to be very, very easy for a bunch of different reasons. Number one, Ankalaev's crazy heavy on top, and number two, Ferrera goes super safe when he gets taken down. Like he'll go full guard, he'll just lay on his back, and he'll play it extremely, extremely safe and not let you basically advance in any position. So that being said about the ground and the wrestling, and the if he does wrestle, then this could look super, super easy. There's only one fighter that I think could look minus 700 in this fight, and I think that's Ankalaev if he wrestles. But I, like you've been saying, and I agree. I just don't know that he's going to do it, and I really don't know that if he waits and then gets his leg chopped off, that he'll have an easier time doing it than he did against Jan. So now it's a striking battle. I don't think that this is like, oh, dude, he's fucked on the feet. Because like you said, and I totally agree, dude, Ankalaev is a striker. Like he's a very good striker. It's like people are like looking at this fight like he's not a very good striker. He is. He's low volume, and he's not a guy that's like going to go for kills. So he's not super exciting to watch. So people underestimate and undervalue his striking ability. So that being said, I don't think this is like, oh, this is super easy for Poatan if this is just standing for 25 minutes. Poatan was down 2-1 against fucking Khalil Roundtree striking. Like Khalil took zero takedown attempts, no threat of the takedown attempt, down 2-1 on all three judges' scorecards in a striking battle for 15 minutes, right? If that's a 3-round fight and it's not a championship fight, that's a unanimous Khalil Roundtree 29-28. So to me, I just feel like this is razor close striking. I think more damage, bigger shots, bigger potential for a knockout, obviously, off of the hands from Ferrera. But it's not like Ankalaev can't strike, and it's not like he can't knock guys out. And I do question the chin of Ferrera at this stage in the game too. So I just think it's razor fucking close. And I think there's one guy with grappling edge and grappling potential to look minus fucking 1,000 if he does grapple every round. But I just don't know that he will. So we're going back to the well. I'm going to go with decision here. I'm going to go with end split plus 650. I'm going to go with Alex by decision because the UFC doesn't want fucking Ankalaev to be the champion. And I'm going to go Alex by split at plus 1,400. So the trifecta bet. I just think that this is fucking razor close, and I think that this could be back and forth with these guys. And if nobody gets knocked out, I think that we're going to see a split.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you there. I do think it's possible that it can go to decision and look really close where, some rounds he gets the takedown, some rounds he doesn't, and he loses. And yeah, I mean, it's an interesting fight for sure. And that's the reason, to be honest, why I'm staying off this fight. Like I don't really have a strong take because I don't trust Ankalaev to grapple heavy. If I knew, like, hey, listen, this guy's gonna come in. The game plan is he's coming in round one. He's shooting takedowns nonstop. I'm gonna bet him, like, no problem. He just doesn't do it in any fight. So now all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that Ankalaev is going to do it. I don't know. I don't.
The only argument the only thing that's like itching at me to say like, okay, does ego get superseded by winning a title now? Like that's the only
ego. I think it's people. That's the thing, man. Like that's not his game.
It's not his game, but it's not something that he's like inept at. He's a good wrestler and he's got a really good top game. Like he's really good on top at holding a guy's down, and like you're not getting up from bottom from him. Like when he gets guys down,
But like against who?
Jan. I mean, I'm saying when he goes.
Jan was towards the end and he was just gassed to fuck. I mean, he was gassed.
I'm just saying in general, I'm not saying that he goes for takedowns a lot, but I'm saying when he does get guys down, they're not getting back up. They're not getting right back up.
I remember Ozdemir got up against him. I'm trying to figure out who got up. Krylov early got up. There were some scrambles got up. But yeah, I mean, he's good top time. We just haven't seen a lot of it, to be honest. That's the thing. We haven't seen a lot of it. And Alex is he's not the best, obviously, on his back, but he's strong. And I mean, Jan probably has better jiu-jitsu than Ankalaev, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. It is. All right. Shoot your Lambo play. Everybody, if you got a Lambo play, shoot it, and we're going to figure out what the people's Lambo parlay is going to be. With that being said, Tim, give us yours while I let the people shoot a Lambo play. Everybody in chat, just give me just one, guys, just one, not three. Above the clods, choose one of those three, not all three. Just one Lambo play, and we'll put them the ones that are put on thing the most. We'll put those together as a 3-legger. Van KO2. Go ahead, Tim. What's yours? Sorry.
It's okay. I will go Fiziev by points. Armin by points. Blades by points. 38-1.
Okay, just one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a variation of it that I might play where I might do, but don't worry about it because we're gonna do the people one as well.
Sub 1-2 and Goliath KO. We don't have too many of the same here. Bruno sub. Wow, that's a new one. Van KO 2-3. That looks like that's a couple of times already. Van KO 3. That's another one. Gaethje KO. Turner sub 1-2. So Turner sub has 2 of them. Lemos decision. Let's see here. Lemos 3, Inc. KO 2. That's 2 of them with Inc. KO 2. Rufy 2-3 KO. That's a new one. What else we have here? What else? Green money line. Wow, that's definitely a new one. Mushroom. Green money line. All right. You guys keep putting them. I'm going to give my Lambo parlay here this week. It's going to be Rufy KO, Turner decision, and Armin Petrosyan KO 2-3. I think it's 75-1 for that one. So that's mine. The people's, I will say, I see a lot of another Rufy KO 2-3. Jalen turn decision. Okay, so Van KO 2-3 is one of them for sure. I saw too many of those. It seems like people like this Rufy KO 2-3. And I need one more. So it's Van KO 2-3, Rufy KO 2-3. Mike says split. There's how many Lemos decisions? I've seen Lemos round 3, Lemos decision. Yeah, I think it's Lemos decision, honestly. Yeah. There's a bunch of Lemos decisions here. Let's go Lemos decision. So those are the 3 legs. It's Van KO 2-3, Rufy KO 2-3. All right, let's do round 3 decision. You're right, because I did see some round 3s. And we'll do Lemos round 3 decision. I don't know what does this come out to, because I'm gonna play it.
I'll look it up.
You have to play the people's parlay. This fucking FanDuel's been working like shit lately. I log in and it logs me out.
It's up. It needed an update on my phone. 71.5-1.
All right, it's playable. 75.5-1. Okay.
71.5.
Oh, 71.5. Okay. KO 2-3. KO 2-3.
Round 3 decision for Lemos.
I think round 3 is better, but I'm gonna say round 3 decision. But double chance. Oh no, where it's not in double chance.
It's in round props.
Round props. Yeah.
Alternate.
Round 3 decision. Yeah. Okay. 71. Well, 71.54-1. Okay. All right. 25 to win. 1788. And be on the lookout. I'm going to put out the $1 million parlay on Twitter tomorrow. I got to figure it out. The good old $7 to win 1 million. The $1 million parlay. So, all right. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. Appreciate you guys. 615 live viewers. Shout out to you guys. Tim, thank you very much. Anything on the way out? Oh, by the way, sorry, before I go to you, Tim, tomorrow I will have a show on Spaces. Please join. It's called The Final Bell. I've been getting like steady 100, 120 people in there, so it's been pretty good. Basically, we'll go over the weigh-ins, any last-minute things, and any questions and stuff. So the Final Bell, it's going to be on Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, whatever you want to call it now. Tim, you got anything for the people here? Or?
Nope. Sign up for your Discord, man. $25.
And follow him at Timothy Troiano on Twitter. Yeah, tomorrow's card starts at 6:30 Eastern, so I'll probably be doing the spaces at around 1 p.m. Eastern. So it's pretty early in time for the people to get all their plays in. And yeah. So good luck, everybody, tomorrow. Hope you guys crush it. And one last thing, let's cash those tickets for UFC 313. Peace.